Hey guys, this is VRes91, and I'm starting a new series where I give my opinion on changes that need to occur so that The Walking Dead Season 3 will better improve on The Walking Dead Season 2. Because let's face it, The Walking Dead Season 2 was, in my opinion, just alright. It wasn't definitely didn't leave the impact that Season 1 did on me. Anyway, today's topic that needs improvement is determinant characters. They are characters who can either live or die. However, I will not be focusing on characters where you had to choose one or the other, but instead characters who could have died earlier than they had to based on the player's decision. Characters like Nick, Alvin, and Ben. But since I'm focusing on Season 2, Ben won't be really talked about here. It'll be Nick and Alvin. Now, the main problem is that in most cases, these characters didn't make much of a difference in the game after that defining moment. What I mean is, after the moment where they could have died, they seem like Telltale was like, okay, we don't want to make too much change, so let's just have them be really involved up to this moment, and then after that, let's not have them involved at all because we don't want them to change the episode just in case the player's action caused them to die. Nick and Alvin both merely make a dent in the episodes after they could have died. I mean, this is a huge mistake in my opinion because it almost makes no accounting for the extra bodies that exist in the upcoming episodes. I mean, Nick and Alvin could have both died in episode 2 of season 1, but if you allow them both, they can both live. So if you allow them both to live, then they should make a difference in episode 3. But both of them have almost nothing in episode 3. Nick barely says anything despite having the ability to live for literally about 1.5 more episodes because he doesn't die until episode 4 if he doesn't die in episode 2. And while Alvin's situation is even worse because Alvin is completely removed from the episode following his life or death situation. The minute that when that episode begins, Tavia takes Alvin to Carver, and he's in Carver's office for the remainder of the episode. I mean, sure, Alvin has a decent alternative death scene, but it still doesn't fully make up for the lack of change and that should have result from him surviving for nearly an entire additional episode. I mean, he really should have had more of a part. He survives for almost a whole nother episode, and they just basically remove him. Even when you see him, he is unable to talk because he's unconscious. I'm just saying that that should have been done better, I believe, because Alvin should have had more of a part. Now, before people say, oh, well, what did you expect them to do? People are saying, well, they couldn't have changed it that much because that would have changed the whole episode 3. Let's take a look at a game called Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. Like The Walking Dead, this game relied heavily on players' choices. So much so that 2 of the possible party members, Juhani and HK-47, fates were left for the player to decide. The player had the choice to kill Juhani, while HK-47 could have simply been left in the droid shop at Tatooine. So these are literally 2 characters that didn't have to be a part of the game, but if you picked them, they made significant choices. Having these partners added significant change to the story as a whole. Juhani and HK both have their own side quests. I mean, you find out that HK was actually made by Revan, who is the player character. They added stuff in that even if you took them out, they would leave this huge gap. And the gap is supposed to be there because these characters being alive or being with you are supposed to make a difference. They're not supposed to just be there. And, I mean, if you kill Juhani, her Padawan friend makes a complete turn to the dark side. And with Juhani alive, you can also find out about Dak, which is a guy you find in Korriban, who with Juhani alive, you actually find out more about him. All I'm saying is that these characters being alive made a significant difference, unlike Alvin and Nick. The Walking Dead Season 3. It's been done before. Knights of the Old Republic definitely had these characters who, even though they could have possibly not been there based on the player's decisions for the whole game, then they were there for basically the whole game. They made a difference, and that's what I believe. Walking Dead Season 3 characters who can die but can also live longer than they depending on the player's choices need to make a difference. It was a great idea for Telltale to really go through the whole thing of having players that can die in a certain episode or can die in another episode based on the player's choices. But I believe they did not take advantage of this in season 2 with Alvin and Nick, because Alvin and Nick, on the episodes following their possible death, if they don't die, they have almost no part. That's basically all I'm saying. Telltale, I believe they need to make sure in season 3 that these characters have a significant part. If they do not, and having them gone, you should definitely feel it. Think of episode 3 without Alvin or Nick. Okay. Now think of episode 3 with Alvin or Nick. You see much of a difference? Now, think of those of you who have played Knights of the Old Republic. Think of Knights of the Old Republic with Juhani and HK-47. Now think of Knights of the Old Republic without Juhani and HK-47. Now there's a difference there, isn't there? There should always be a difference when you think of a character missing or being there. I'm just saying, they didn't. I don't think they did it properly with Alvin and Nick. I hope in season 3 they do it much better. And you guys, please tell me your comments on this. Do you guys think that they really need to have these characters who can live longer than, depending on the player's choices, they need to make a significant role? Or do you guys think that they're doing fine just basically having them there, having Nick say like a few words, having Alvin have a few additional comments? And they did give him a pretty good death scene, but he was basically not there. And Nick basically wasn't there either. Anyway, that's my opinion. Tell me yours, please. Thank you for watching. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And may God bless you all.